Okay, so thank you once again, everybody, for joining this Canada Specialist Program webinar. Chris from Klahoose Wilderness Resort, please take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to kind of reintroduce Klahoose Wilderness Resort. We are brand new, so it's really exciting. It's our first full season. The Klahoose First Nation is who I work for. They are First Nation here on the BC coast, part of the Coast Salish people. They bought the lodge. It used to be named Homefray Lodge. So some of you on the line might have recognized Homefray Lodge, which is who I used to work for. So COVID actually created an ownership change, and the Klahoose First Nation decided to buy the lodge because it's right in the center of their territory. And it's just south of where we do the grizzly brewery with the Klahoose First Nation. So I'm going to introduce you to the lodge. There's lots of exciting things that we're doing this year, and I'm going to have more pictures next year. But let me start by showing you a video that should, and hopefully you can. Yeah, so that gives you a little bit of a taste of Klahoose Wilderness Resort. We're located in Desolation Sound, British Columbia. So we are one of the closest eco lodges or resorts to Vancouver. Really easy to get to. There's different ways you can reach us, but we are in the wilderness. You can see the picture here. This is a remote area. It's known by boaters as one of the best boating destinations in the world because of the protected waters. But we're north of all where these boaters go and in a really unique location in Desolation Sound. The resort is a small timber building. It was built way back in 2009, but it's been an eco lodge since 2017. And this will be our first full season operating as Klahoose Wilderness Resort. Here's where we're located. So some of you might know Campbell River or maybe Sonora Resort. We're really tucked in the wilderness, Whistler's over in the area over here. And to get to us, you can do a self-drive. So if guests are driving, they can drive from Vancouver. The resort's right here. So you can do it in one day from Vancouver along the Sunshine Coast, or you can travel from Campbell River on the Comox to Powell River Ferry. So the closest ferry terminal is Powell River. And that's where we meet our guests, just north of Powell River. We meet them in Lund. We offer a complimentary airport shuttle, or we pick them up in Lund. If they're driving, they can park their car and then just join us in Lund. And then the water taxi is included from Lund to Klahoose Wilderness Resort, which only takes about 45 minutes. Or you can fly with Pacific Coastal Airlines from Vancouver right to Powell River and we'll meet the guests there. There's also seaplane charters, which is just under an hour flight as well that I can help you with. So really easy to get to, but very remote. Here's just the ferry. I'll go through these quickly. BC Ferries obviously is an easy way to get your guests around between Vancouver Island or Vancouver. Seaplane right to our dock or a 35-minute Pacific Coastal Airlines flight. And it's an eco resort. We are tucked in this really calm channel named Homefray Channel. We have 7 rooms, which include 3 cabins. So 14 guests is our average occupancy at the lodge. Sometimes we'll have up to 16, 18 if there's families sharing or 2 couples sharing one of the cabins. What's really special about Klahoose Wilderness Resort is not only is it 100% Indigenous owned, but all of our guides are Indigenous. And the cultural interpretation is by our Klahoose guides. So when guests come to our dock, They're welcomed by a Klahoose member and all the staff singing a welcome song, which is really special. I'm sharing this image here too. It shows the authentic Indigenous British Columbia. This is actually just announced last week. Actually, it wasn't even announced. It was announced to me. So I'm just sneaking that out to you today. But it basically recognizes authentic Indigenous experiences in British Columbia. And this is what really sets it apart. When guests come to visit us, we are an eco lodge. We're all inclusive. All the meals are included. The guided tours are included. All the activities and transportation is included. But what sets us apart is that we're Indigenous. The guides are Indigenous. You're going to see and go on these tours with Indigenous local guides, whether it's the grizzly bear viewing tours or a wildlife viewing tour, boat tour, or at the lodge doing storytelling in the evening, maybe doing cedar weaving. Price point starts at about $2,400, $2,500 per person for a 3-night package, Canadian. That's for 3 nights, and our schedule is 3 nights on Thursdays and 4 nights on Sundays. So the only thing from your side that you need to figure out is a schedule with your guest itinerary, whether they're going to arrive on a Thursday or a Sunday for 3 or 4 nights. It's a 6,000 square foot cedar lodge with rooms on top and cabins on the side. The rooms are very comfortable. I'd say they're sort of rustic, but they're cedar. They smell like cedar. We've done a lot of renovations, putting all the soft, new chairs, new bedding, new mattresses last year. But you can see they all have views of the ocean. We have 3 cabins. So if your guests have 3, 4, 5 guests, we have 2-bedroom cabins that can sleep up to 5 people. And these are really nice. If you have 2 guests, I will just assign them to these rooms as well. And there's 2 distinct seasons at Klahoose Wilderness Resort. We call it the Discover Klahoose package, goes from May to August 24th. So from opening till August. This is when guests will see, we'll go wildlife viewing. We're going to go look at the waterfalls. We're going to look for bears on shore. We're going to watch for whales. There's over 100 humpback whales in the area, orca, black bears on shore. And then our second season goes from August 23rd to October 20th. That's for next year, or the similar this year. And that's when we go grizzly bear viewing from our fixed viewing platforms. We own and operate the platforms. There's 6 of them. They're covered, and it's some of the best grizzly bear viewing on the BC coast. Either season, no matter if you're coming in the grizzly bear season or the summer or spring seasons, you're going to have that Indigenous experience, whether it's seeing the totem poles, doing some cedar weaving, pulling up spot prawns, and seeing all kinds of wildlife, the black bears, the eagles, all the BC coastal animals that you would imagine, especially humpback whales and orca are pretty common. And then the grizzly bears, we have some of the best bear viewing. And we go out for about 3 hours to watch the grizzly bears. And that season's right now. We just had a group yesterday. Photography, I've got an amazing shot of a bear from yesterday. What's also really great about Klahoose Resort is you can come any time of year. The water is generally calm like this picture. So you can swim in the ocean. You can kayak, you can paddleboard. It's extremely quiet and peaceful here. And because the Klahoose First Nation have just bought it, we have lots of renovations we're doing. We have a whole new clean energy system we're putting in, which will get us off our diesel generator. We are off the grid, so we have hydropower water from the creek nearby, and clean energy is coming out of this hydropower. We have a new dock. This picture is of our old dock. We have a beautiful brand new dock that's there. I don't even know a picture of it. It just went in a couple of weeks ago. And we have a new wood fire sauna we're building this fall, so that will be ready for 2023. So lots of little amenities that the Klahoose First Nation is adding and making this, one of the best places on the coast to visit. Here's just some more interior shots. One of the most beautiful decks on the BC coast, big cedar timber inside, and it's all inclusive. So you're gonna have all your meals included. We do yoga inside. Storytelling, Indigenous activities. You can swim in the ocean here. There's some hiking trails. There's a 2-hour hike. There's a half-hour hike. These are all things you can do while you're here. Kayaking and optional tours. So we do have extra tours for guests that choose a 4-night package. They can include optional tours like fishing, ocean fishing, heli fly fishing, heli sightseeing tours, and even a heli paddle, which is that crazy picture on the right. These are optional, so they're not included. Your guests don't need to do this. There's tons to do at the lodge, but if they want a really bucket list special thing, they can add that to their program. New boats. The Klahoose First Nation also just added brand new boats. The Goat One is a covered heated boat. Walk around deck, one of the nicest boats on the BC coast, great sightseeing boat. Everything we do is dock to dock. So for guests, you know, this is really remote wilderness, but everything is very comfortable. Heated boats, covered boats, dock to dock. You know, we're not jumping on shore into Zodiacs or anything. It's a very easy tour to do. But again, we're in the wilderness. You can see the stars at night here, and it's a beautiful spot to be. The grizzly bear viewing is late August to mid-October. Those are 3 or 4 night packages, and they include grizzly bear viewing in the Toba Valley, which you can see the picture here. And this is the Klahoose territory. They've been operating the grizzly bear viewing here since 2017 with the former Humphrey Lodge, and now we're operating it all together, which is really special. So your guides are actually at Klahoose Wilderness Resort, and they're going to escort the guests all the way up to Toba Inlet for those 2 days of grizzly bear viewing, passing the waterfalls, and then going into the viewing towers to watch the bears. The picture on the left is a typical iPhone shot of one of the grizzly bears, but they do walk right up to the tower. And then if you have a good camera, you can get pictures of the bears eating the salmon. They're going to be feeding on salmon in the river here, and we usually see anywhere from 1 to 5 bears on average. And this was taken yesterday, so I just threw this in. This is by one of our photographers. So if you're a really great photographer, you can get amazing shots of the bears feeding on salmon, and that's just a shot from yesterday I threw in. Multi-generational, anyone can come here. Child age for grizzly bear viewing is 10 and over only. But the rest of the season, we accept any younger kids as well, and there's lots to do for them. You know, maybe not little infants, it's not good for, but we have the kayaks and paddle boards. You can see these are 80-year-olds kayak paddleboarding for the first time. Some of the special programs we have a Canadian Geographic Adventure partnership. So we have some special trips, which will be co-hosted by Canadian Geographic ambassadors. This year, October 9th, we have Charlene and Wilson Barhead. There's still room on that one for this October. And next year we have more. So if you're interested in those trips with the Royal Canadian Geographic Society, I'm happy to share those with you after. And that's my presentation. Here's my contact information, which of course you'll have out after. If you're on Instagram, come look there at some of the newest images. And yeah, thank you for listening. And I'm happy to share everything about the new Klahoose Wilderness Resort with you after.